John and Darren's office chairs provided by GT Omega Racing. You can check them out at gtomegaracing.com.
Welcome to This Week Inside Sim Racing, January 4th, 2017 edition. It's 2017. We did it, guys.
We made it.
We made it.
Oh, geez.
Sorry, I want to get that over with quick. I got a new app on my phone. I'm John Sable, joined with Billy Strange.
the guy that's not Darren.
Yes, not Darren. Unfortunately, Darren had a little accident. It's okay. It wasn't too bad. I actually got a clip of it for you here. Oh, no. Damn you, XSplit. Damn you. It can't work. Here it is. Oh, he's coming down. He was skiing the other day. He loves skiing. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, the humanity.
The humanity. Oh, no.
Right into a crowd of people, too.
Oh, man. You had a lot of people out there watching on Mount Spokane. Oh, yes. So, yes, so Darren is in chat right now under the Inside Sim Racing banner. I don't know what it is. Login. Anyway, back a couple weeks ago, he had a spill, kind of like that one, except it included ice, driveway, and shoveling.
Probably a lot less dramatic.
Oh, man, but I hope there was a crowd out there watching. But, so yeah, he broke his ankle and just had surgery on it yesterday. Surgery that included in his text message to me plates and screws, or
Ouch.
multiple plates. So he did a number on it. So Darren's gonna be off the live show for at least probably a few weeks, because I think because going downstairs and into the studio down the basement isn't easy when you break it that good. So
You should just build a slide. Nice pillows at the end to catch you.
The tough thing is the way there's a wall right there at the bottom of the steps.
Hey, you can make bank turns.
So yeah, that sucks. So hope Darren feels better or gets better and feels better. I'm sure he's feeling better now that he's had that surgery. But yeah, eesh.
Yeah.
Winter time sucks.
Get well so you can go back to doing your, I don't know what you were doing, cross-stitching, knitting, whatever that was that you hurt yourself with.
Oh, yeah, it's a perfect opportunity. I believe it was his left ankle, so perfect opportunity to become a right foot breaker.
And there you go. See? It's not all bad. It could be worse.
We can figure
Could have been both.
Oh, God. Yeah, no kidding.
I knew a guy that did that. Not good.
Oh, that'd be awful. So, yes. So with that, we are carrying the flag on with TWISR in 2017, and hope everyone had a good holiday. Me and Billy were talking beforehand. It was a busy holiday for both of us.
Yes, it was.
Billy, what happened to your computer?
Oh, I got this. It's a new feature that Windows 10 does. When it decides, you relatively haven't had any issues with it, it gives you a blue screen of death. And when you go through all of the fixes you find online, you come to the realization that you have to reset your PC. And thus, any app, which includes Steam and anything associated with it, gets removed. And with my wonderfully blazing fast internet connection that I have, it's taking forever to get everything back. So,
is everything back yet?
Not quite. I'm almost there. It just keeps plugging along at that 5 down that I have or whatever it is. Yeah, so a lesson is, if you can afford it, put your OS on one hard drive and put your everything else on another one so it doesn't get rid of it. I didn't even think about it. I did it with my editing PC and never bothered to do it with my sim rig that I built, so oops.
There you go, boys and girls. Yay, computers.
Yes.
So, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and jump right into the news this week. I'm not going to read through the stuff because you guys can read it there on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, you're stuck with us anyway because we're filling up your time as you drive to work. or do work. So first up, oh, and by the way, these news items, a fair amount of them from the past week, but did go back and grab a few things from a few weeks back and kind of picked and choose and tried to grab the best of the bunch. But first up, back, I don't know, I think this was December 23rd, Sparco, the pretty famous racing company, announced that they are starting Sparco Gaming, that is going to be catering to gaming / sim racing with different products. And this is all the teasers they have of the back of a chair and then a steering wheel. And this was a picture of the rig, at least one rig they're doing, and the only one they've shown so far, and this is called the Evolve. The press release had 3 gaming chairs, grip, stint, and comp. That comp is a C version with carbon fiber back, so that's going to be the fanciest gaming chair I think ever made. And then this Evolve rig, which Billy, what do you think about this rig?
It looks fairly standard.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks okay.
I think it looks pretty sharp. It's I was reading. I went back today getting the notes, and I read back the press release again, and they kind of stated that rig they wanted it to be pretty simplistic and easy to
Sure,
kind of fold things down and store away if you had to. And it sounds like there's going to be other options and accessories that you can add to that. And I kind of get the feeling, reading from that press release, that there's going to be more rigs in the future. Maybe this is like the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think it's really cool to see a legit brand. I mean, in the racing world, there isn't too much more that's higher than Sparco in my mind.
Well, it's a recognizable brand, and they make a variety of different safety gear. So, I mean, they make seats already, so it's kind of like that next evolution, which kind of tells you, if you want to think about it, how legitimate sim racing / esports is becoming.
Yes,
I think.
No, I totally agree. I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, if anyone's gonna, if you're a kid coming up through karting, and these companies are trying to get these guys young and have them wear their gloves and shoes and use their steering wheels and their seats and blah blah blah. What better way than go and do sim racing, where I mean, it seems like any teenager or whatever in racing, they also sim race because it's such a great training tool. So no, I think it's a really good idea. I did see someone say that it's an R seat rebrand. I have it on good authority that it is not. It does look similar. It is similar,
sure.
Idea, but it is not. It is not a rebranded R seat. It is a standalone thing. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to see what's come out of that. We haven't heard anything about time frame. No prices. It was just a press release that came out on the 23rd, and I know they got a Facebook page up on the blog posts. We linked to their Facebook page, so that's where they're kind of throwing out those teasers. But yep, we'll see what will come of that.
Yeah.
Spiffy stuff. Okay. Next up, there was a new car released from rFactor 2, also around Christmas, and this is a car that
Yay.
I think I blogged about this car literally, I think November of 2014.
I was going to say, that was a while ago.
And there was a screenshot of this car that's currently on screen, the modal car. They had the livery and everything done 2 years ago, and now it's finally out, the GT500. Yes, very excited about this car. This runs in Super GT over in Japan. This is a 2013 model, which I think also indicates just how long this thing has been percolating. But since your computer's down, I assume you haven't had a chance to try this out.
It is on my to-do list. That was the car I was going to drive that day, because I was like, all right, this is going to be cool. Oh, wah.
Yeah, I have not had an opportunity to try this out either, with the crazy holidays and just trying to get a couple of the videos that did get out and a couple that we're working on right now. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to drive it, but yes, I am. I want to drive that because been waiting that for a long time, and I'm kind of hoping maybe that's something that gets me a little more into rFactor 2.
Yeah, did you happen to see any of the gameplay of it at all?
I haven't.
They got like little fans moving in there. It's pretty interesting. Some people commented that the sounds don't line up with what they think the engine noise, the note should sound like. Until I drive it, I'm not totally sure.
Yeah, I would have to drive it too, and unfortunately, I feel like anytime I watch any of the Super GT races, they show them on I think the Nissan YouTube channel.
Yes.
For some reason, the sound's like never very loud, so it's always kind of like, I don't know. It feels like weird with the sound. Like you can really hear the commentators in like their booth or whatever. Never really hear the sounds. No, I need to go drive that car. And if anyone's driven in chat, let us know what they're thinking. But next up, another very neat thing that I haven't tried out. I assume Billy hasn't either. The Formula trucks are now in Automobilista.
Just rub it in.
Oh man, yeah, this was these things look so awesome. I will admit, I did not drive the standalone Formula truck Riza game, so I am new to these, but they look fun.
They're cool. They're fun. They're definitely got a different driving style required, but they're cool.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. This was part of the 1.2 release from Riza for Automobilista, and at the bottom of the release notes, they actually had some kind of like extra notes explaining how to drive it. And I talked about how there is a rule in Formula trucks where you can't go above 160 kilometers per hour in certain segments of the racetrack, and they actually have a flashing icon that appears in the top left corner of your screen, letting you know when you're in those regions. And I'm like, oh, that's fascinating.
It's an interesting way to, I guess, put a cap on the series. Kind of try to keep things under control.
I guess they must do that because I guess they don't want to put like a restrictor on the engine or something. So for like the sake of better throttle response and all that kind of stuff, they're just like, okay, guys, don't go too fast down the straightaways. You're driving a massive truck.
Have you seen some of those crashes though?
Yeah, they crash hard.
Man, it's nasty.
The center of gravity is so high on those things. And then another note they had about that is essentially they're like, first gear doesn't exist, and even second's pretty tall. So a lot of times you're gonna be racing in third through sixth gear, which makes sense. And then another part. Let me try to pull this back up. Something else that was released in the update is something they're calling, I think it's Formula Dirt. Yes, Formula Dirt Series. Which again, I've not tried this out. I don't even know where the world this came from. This isn't real, right?
I don't know, but what I understand is it's kind of like their Formula V car with bodywork on it. And like that, I don't think they really have dirt tires on it, and it's got an open diff in it. So for those that are used to driving on dirt, you use the throttle to steer the car a little bit. That won't help you here because the diff is open, so you're not getting that locking that you need to kind of help facilitate getting the car through the turn. You've got to be very smooth with your inputs and try not to get it over. Try not to overcorrect and get it sideways. Although I haven't tried it yet. Again. Yeah. But I've watched a handful of videos on him. It looks interesting.
Yeah. No, it does look cool. I liked, someone said Rocket League cars and Automobilista. It kind of does look like the Rocket League car.
Right.
A couple other things from that 1.2 release. There were some extra track layouts for the Formula Trucks release, and then the Escura dirt track was added. I don't know if that's real or fictional, because I'm not too up on that stuff. Or I assume it's out of Brazil, but then again, there's tracks from all over the place in Automobilista. But there was that, and then there were a few other notable things. They added a function to prevent AI cars from taking fuel in pit stops when the series does not allow refueling. Kind of important. And then they adjusted point system for some of the different series, F3, Super V8, Boxer Cup, blah, blah, blah. And I think those were kind of some of the big ones, some AI adjustments.
Yeah, they also fixed the bug causing AI cars to take on a full fuel tank in timed races, which really messed up how, like, if you watch the Caterham one that I did, once everybody kind of spread out, I was getting away from them pretty good. Even when I qualified, it was a little different, and that was due to AI optimization, and I believe they were taking a full fuel load, which in that race they didn't totally need a full fuel load.
Yeah, no, that is that is an important one. So yeah, that is the Automobilista update. And again, I feel like I'm broken record. They've been coming out with a lot of great updates, and I still haven't carved out the time to drive it, and because that's still a title I like to put a review together for some point. The day one review is long gone, right? Like
right.
day 100 and counting.
It's pretty good.
Eventually, though, we just got a list of things getting through. Talk about that later. Let's see. Next up, RaceRoom had a new car come out. This is the what are they calling this? The Formula RaceRoom 3.
3, yeah.
Which is just like the GP3 car that raced around Macau. So this makes a lot of sense here. I was actually looking at images earlier today because I'm like, how close does this actually look to the GP3 car? And they did a good job of, like, you know it's a GP3 car, but it doesn't quite look exactly like it. So, good job.
Yes, and again, it's on my to-do list.
Yes, around Macau, right?
Oh, jeez. Well, maybe. You know, I tried to do a world touring car race around Macau, and they at that time the AI was not having any of it. They would, and that one super sharp hairpin, they'd just stop. So I kind of abandoned that one for the time being, but maybe I'll try it again.
Gotcha. And then up on screen here, have a whole bunch of images from new content that is coming in 2017. Right now, showing pictures of the WTCC Volvo Polestar. I believe that's yes. That's coming as part of the 2016 WTCC pack. Been told, and it's going around a new track in Sweden. And wait for this butchering. Karlskoga Motors Stadion. Stadion. Okay.
You were so close. Like,
okay.
I almost mistook you for Swedish.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I was going to do an accent there. Let's not.
Oh, no. Just offend everybody. Just get it out of the way.
I know. I wanted to do Swedish chef. Anyway, so there's the Indy cars that are coming up. There's been plenty of previews of the BMW M6 GT3. That car looks very nice. What else was there? Pictures of the McLaren 650S. Nothing really new progress-wise there, what we had already saw. Then the most interesting thing is one of the interesting things is they released this image here, which they didn't give any explanation to, or at least I didn't see any unless it was in the forums. But this is a very Formula One looking car with a very Formula One looking paint scheme. Of course, if I would copy anyone, I wouldn't copy Ferrari because those guys are the worst at suing people. I feel.
Well, yeah, you might not want to do that.
Yeah, but anyway, so that is a Formula One looking car that will probably be. I'll say here, Formula RaceRoom 1. That's my guess. FR1.
They probably will not even come close to using the word formula, and then down, in that same sentence, one in the same thing.
That's true.
Probably.
RaceRoom 1.
Sure, why not?
R1. You're right. You probably shouldn't use formula in that naming.
Yeah, but, that's probably not a good idea.
Yes. But so that is coming as well. So yeah, I mean there's race, and that wasn't even all the stuff that we saw, because RaceRoom did that dev stream back November and beginning December.
Right.
And they showed off, there was even more things there, because they're redoing. They got the Audi and Mercedes GT3 cars coming, and they're still working on VR. That was another thing that was reiterated in their kind of end of the year preview. VR, and specifically on the Vive is what we keep on hearing.
Didn't they have didn't they talk about a different online like a multiplayer system that they were working on as well? What am I not remembering that right? Or
No,
I thought they said something about that.
No, you're not losing your mind. I actually
Okay,
I found it here in the notes. Coming up in 2017, flag system, manual pit stops, thank God. AI improvements, always. Different tire compounds, always.
All right.
New data displays, which is cool. They just have a generic display for all the cars. Constantly evolving physics updates, again, always. The multiplayer mode will be expanded with player rankings, a licensed system, and scheduled races and official online championships to provide you the best virtual motorsports experience. So, yeah, they're gonna kind of, I don't want to say iRacing like, because I mean that's what that's anyone can do that, but that's pretty much iRacing is the only one that does that with the scheduled specific races, hosted through them. And it sounds like RaceRoom's going to do that now with scheduled races, which is a good idea. Yeah. Saturday, Sunday mornings, scheduled races.
I agree. There's nothing wrong with using iRacing as a template. They're kind of they are that upper tier of online, if you want to call it public, that MMO style racing. So why not implement a system that's similar to theirs?
Yes. Oh, and I'm glad to hear that the stream's going well. No drops so far, and I updated.
Don't say it. If you recognize it,
nope,
then it's all going to go to hell.
I'm doing
Stop it.
But I did mess up. I was going to have the trash can burning graphic. but
there you go.
Progress.
Oh, and speaking of RaceRoom, I did that. What is it? The FR2 challenge, the Thrustmaster one.
Oh yeah, that's right. How did that go?
Yeah. Well, I put about 40 minutes in, and at the time I think I did it was kind of close to the beginning, like a weekend. I was like in the top 100, and after 4,000 people, I finished like 400 and I don't know, 30 something or 60 something. I don't know. It was something like that. So
you're saying
those guys are fast.
So you're saying you were like almost 90th percentile.
I was like that close.
I mean, just saying. I mean. That's not bad.
Yeah. I don't know how much more I could have got out of it. They had somebody that won their team that they're on posted a video, and they were definitely liberal with the track limits. But hey, it was the same for everybody. I didn't test them that far, and they made good use of it. So kudos to them.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, to turn those fast laps, you're pushing those limits, and
I'm just not interested in doing all that. I wanted just to see, how essentially how I could do without spending a boatload of time.
And you proved with a little bit of work, you were better than 90% of the other racers out there.
Oh man!
Wait, there's my thumb.
Yeah.
Cropping. Okay, cool. So that is the wrap up on RaceRoom. So we should have plenty of news in the coming weeks on stuff coming out, hopefully, and not just screenshots. Which that's not fair. They released the Formula RaceRoom 3. So
yes,
I should.
Yep.
I shouldn't pick on them. Okay, moving on to more end of the year wrap up stuff. Assetto Corsa had an end of year blog. There's a few images here that are going to be ticking by of new content coming up, but it was a good read. We have it up on the website. Bullet points: custom championships on consoles coming, private lobbies for the consoles coming, improved control customization on the consoles, which is good because the control settings for wheels in the consoles are terrible.
Man, that's awful.
Yes, you have two different choices. So thankfully, finally, they're working on that. Laguna Seca, my least favorite track in the world, and definitely North America, is coming in the first half of 2017.
Really?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Why do you not like Laguna Seca?
I just hate it.
Really?
I do. I have no love for it.
Out of all the tracks in North America, you don't like that one?
Yep. Roll it on. A new mystery track is coming, which they haven't talked about. And then the Ideal Racing Circuit, which you're seeing images for it here, in Scotland is coming with different layouts for drifting and endurance racing and city tracks. So that'll be fascinating. And that will be a free bonus content released for configurations, blah, blah, blah. There's gonna be some free cars coming. Let me get it off those screens there. There's some free cars coming. A Barth 595. I can't read my notes. Mazda 7A7B, Miata NA, Maserati Quattroporte, and Audi TT. And then there will be a British pack arriving with cars from McLaren, Lotus, and I think that's all they announced for right now. And then there'll be something of new Italian content, which sounds all Alfa Romeo, Maserati, Ferrari, so all out of that family. And then they are, it sounds like they're moving the studios to a bigger facility where they can actually have like rigs set up for fans to come in, or just people, or if they just themselves want to jump around from VR and different monitors and stuff like that. They got that going on, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually when I get everything set back up, I'm going to try the custom championships, because it's also with that last update, it just kind of snuck in on the PC. So I'm gonna try that and see how easy it is to set up a custom championship.
Oh man, now I'm seeing the comments from my Laguna Seca comments. So okay,
I knew I baited you. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
No. It's fine. I will defend myself. I have no problem with this. So it's not necessarily a difficult track to drive. And it's something like people don't people don't like tracks they don't drive fast in. I will say what was I gonna say? What am I gonna say? I do struggle a little bit on lap time in some corners there, but there's other places I do well. And the corkscrew's all fine and dandy. Love watching racing there. The pass. I don't know. It's just like this deserty thing. And I drove it so many times on iRacing, at the beginning, and probably had plenty of frustrating races because I sucked. I do hate that corner, that little quick left-hander before you go up the hill into the corkscrew.
Oh, that's the best turn.
Oh no! See that one? That's the turn that's the turn where
you gotta have some balls for that turn.
Oh, I don't have balls apparently, because that's the one where it's not like I don't carry speed through there. I just clip that inside sleeping policeman that just turns your car, or you go wide and get into the dirt.
Yeah, so it's easy to shoot off in that turn. And when they race karts there, you've got to really make sure. Well, like I said, you got to have some balls for that turn. I like the older version though, where it didn't have that inner loop. You just went down into turn 1 and just made that 90, and it was like these high-speed set of turns going up to the corkscrew. Oh. It didn't have that kind of hairpin and then the two right-handers and then back to that left before you got to the next left-hander to go up the hill. They cut all that out back in the early, it was like that up until the early 80s, mid 80s. I don't know, it's something like that, but that's the version I want to drive.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't like the last corner either. It's just a 90-degree corner, but I've had so many get-togethers that final corner because it's just so slow.
It's easy to do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So it's just for Assetto Corsa, I've been waiting for them to release a North American track, and then of course this Laguna Seca, I'm kind of like, ugh. Okay, I'll wait for the next one.
I've been staring at this thing since Gran Turismo 2. Turismo, jeez, bad habit.
I do think that is part of it. I think I've driven that track so many times in everything that I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. But
that's kind of everything now.
It is, but that's my problem. If you love it, awesome. But yeah, so Assetto Corsa's got a lot of good stuff coming, and we, I will say I did see a couple end of the year wrap ups, different people saying different things about sim racing 2016, and people there were at least a couple different articles that noted that Assetto Corsa was probably the most improved.
Good job. Keep going.
Yes, Assetto Corsa is the most improved of 2016, and I think I have to agree with them. I'm digging Assetto Corsa these days. At the beginning of 2016, I was not digging Assetto Corsa, so I'm looking forward to more to come, because I think I do think it was a strong 2016 for them.
I definitely think they improved. I definitely I'm not gonna not the console, but the PC side. I definitely think they definitely brought a better A game, so to speak,
Yeah.
And, getting the Porsche license helps and all that
That's
stuff.
a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. With Automobilista coming out, the improvements that RaceRoom has done with their AI and some of the other stuff, and I don't know, it's hard to just pick one thing.
No, there's been a lot of good things. Like I don't think overall 2016 there wasn't a whole lot of negatives. I think to really put. I mean, there's always kind of points here and there, but I think overall there's a lot of positive.
Yeah, I think the only thing negative I could point to was the drift mode in Valentino Rossi MotoGP. That was not the highlight of my year.
Well, that and karting games never being released.
Ouch.
That's right.
Ouch.
Moving on from there, where are we at? Okay, iRacing and Porsche. All my videos aren't starting where they're supposed to start. XSplit, you're killing me. Porsche, speaking of Assetto Corsa, now iRacing, is coming to iRacing. This is pretty cool, and as I wrote in a blog story on Sunday, I think this definitely shows that the floodgates are opening and we're going to see the Porsche brand and pretty much all of sim racing. And this is the actual iRacing model here. That's an exploded view going together of the GT3 Cup car that is, as it shows, coming in January. So that is very cool.
Yes.
They noted, they said on Twitter yesterday, the iRacing Twitter account said that where's it at? The 911 GT3 Cup car, and this isn't the GT3 series. It's the standalone. It's a different car. It's very confusing. And
because there's a difference between that one and the GTE. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, there's like 911 land. I didn't do a good job explaining this in the blog I wrote. I should have explained it, but I didn't. You have the Cup car, which is it runs against. They're all the same car. They run in a Porsche series, Cup series, all the same car.
Yes.
And then you have in the U.S. is known as the GTD, the GT Daytona 911 car, which has more aero. If you see them, it's actually kind of cool.
Yes.
On the Assetto Corsa website, I was checking this out earlier, looking at their cars list, and if you go from on their website, it goes from the Cup car to the GTD car, and you can see side by side how much the aero changes. I mean, they pretty much like share the door and the roof, and everything else is like completely different.
Nice.
Then you have the GT E car, as it's known as WEC, or GTLM car, as it's known here in the States, and that is that's the fastest car that runs. That's the factory team that runs like at Le Mans, and we'll actually talk about here in a little bit. But anyway, let me get this back to where we're going with it. So yes, the Cup car is releasing very soon, and it is replacing the Roof Cup series or car, pretty much series.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen here in January. So RIP to all the roofs out there in sim racing land.
Yeah, I wonder how many people are actually going to be like, no.
I'm pouring one out, but I got water. I'm doing it over top of my microphone. So that's dangerous.
Continue. Let's see how that works.
Oh, you guys missed a doozy. Before we were sitting here, like, I don't know, 5 minutes before the show was starting, 10 minutes, and I was getting things set up, and I have a AC wall unit above me here, above the monitors, and the flip in front of it fell off, bounced off the top monitor, knocked the microphone down, and landed on me / I had the dog in my lap. So that would have been awesome. That would have happened live. Ratings.
I told him he should have saved it for the show. The best part was, as he's doing this, he was previewing something, and all I could see was the preview window. So all I hear is this catastrophic sound coming from the other side. Oh, it sounded like the whole roof caved in on him. It was that was entertaining.
Yes, it was something.
You still should have saved it for the live show, though.
I know. I'm sorry. Just so we got the Cup car coming, and then also what was highlighted in that preview was the 911 RSR, the brand new 2017 GTE car, and then the 919 LMP1 car, 2016 version. Those were both shown as well. They were shown in the real world. They weren't the virtual cars. So I assume that's not a mistake. And to be fair, the LMP1 car is already out in Assetto Corsa. The GTE car is coming, where this next topic we're going to talk about, in Assetto Corsa. So I expect to see those coming to iRacing, and if well, let's say when they do arrive, they will fill up a major hole that iRacing has, because they don't have any LMP1 cars and they don't have any GTE cars, and now they have Le Mans. So I'm really hoping that this is the beginning of more of those type of cars.
Which is also interesting, because then you have a balancing act you have to do with those GT cars. Are you going to kind of migrate everything over? You know, how's that gonna play out? Is it gonna be a spec series until they get more GTE cars and stuff like that, or I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I hope they just call it I assume let's call it a WEC series, and then we'll, fingers crossed from there we'll get more cars to show.
So kind of like they did with the IMSA Camel GT cars?
Yeah, and even like,
okay.
I think back, this is amazing, but back in the day, there weren't any GT3 cars in iRacing, or most sims.
Back in my day.
I know. This was back in, when was this? That's right. The McLaren came out in 2012, like season 4 or something, and that ran as a standalone series, if I'm remembering right, of just a McLaren. Then they came out with the roof, and then they added the roof. Then they came out with the BMW Z4, and then and then by the time, and I think once the roof got added, I think they called it then the GT3 Challenge or something, and whatever. So okay, I kind of see
that same kind of.
Yeah, it builds and morphs, and you work with different partners, and you get hopefully official IMSA series and WEC series and stuff like that. So Blancpain, I guess that's the official GT3 right now. So, but yeah, all very cool stuff. So yeah, 2017, all the content
for everybody. No,
that's right. Everyone gets a new car. Kinda.
You get a new car, and you get a...
Yes. Oh, yes, Darren put, thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. I would appreciate that. I don't think I had it in the last show, but then again, the last show we did crash and burn halfway through, so I felt...
I don't even think we made it that far.
Okay, yeah, we didn't even make it that far. 20 minutes in. Let's see. Okay, next topic, as previewed a second ago, this is the 2017 911 RSR GTE or GTLM car, the first mid-engine 911 race car, or maybe just 911 in general, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Maybe.
I think.
Okay. They've had like prototypes in the past, but anyway, because of the new regulations and the WEC and that huge diffuser with most of the bumper missing there. Porsche went and had to catch up on the aero regs, and literally the engine had to get moved forward or they wouldn't compete. Like they didn't compete in 2016. So this is a new car. This was supposed to be part of the Porsche Pack version 3 or whatever it's called, and it didn't quite make it, which I'm not surprised. This is a brand new car. It just hit the track. So this is arriving sometime this month, and if I'm not mistaken, I thought they said it was going to be free.
Yes.
Is very cool.
Yes, and it looks really cool.
It does. It really is.
Nothing like those big old diffusers coming out the backside of the car.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Good one. I love where Porsche's going in their design. Porsche's forever. I know if you watch Top Gear, or I guess now Grand Tour, they always make fun of how they look like Clarkson would say they look like a beetle. And to be fair, they were pretty beetle-like and very vertical for a long time. Now 911s are just getting shorter and wider and shorter and wider. And this car is it's like this. It is so wide, and it's got these huge side seals on it that are just or the side floor, and the bodywork. It looks great. Yeah. So yes, very excited to see that coming to Assetto Corsa, and then and hopefully to iRacing too.
Yeah, it's always good when they get ridiculous with the aero.
It's cool when they get ridiculous with the aero, and it's still good racing.
Well, yeah, I was I was being somewhat facetious, but I do love the fat fender flares and diffusers and stuff like that. It makes the car look badass.
Oh, it does. It does look great. And sometimes some series they can do that, and the racing's still good. And others, like DTM, they do that, and the racing goes to crap.
Well, that's because those things are. I can't believe how sophisticated those cars are.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
They're Formula cars.
Yes, they got fenders on them. That's about it.
Yep, exactly. So yes, so hopefully we will be seeing that soon. Next up, Billy, this was a story that you blogged about games disappearing on Steam. What the hell?
Yeah, so I caught wind of it on what was it? Team VVV's website. I was like scrolling through. I don't remember if it was Twitter or Facebook, but so I clicked on it and I looked at it. I was like, Steam removes. It was what? F1 2013, Dirt 3, and Grid. And then after some more poking around, I found that there was a Reddit user that had kind of found out that they were gone. And then a little further digging revealed that on the 31st, Grid was to be removed from Good Old Games, GOG.com, as my earphones tried to take my head off. So, and that was through PC Gamer. They had sent out an email asking why Grid was getting removed, and they got a reply back saying it was licensing issues, which now that those three have been removed from Steam, you can glean that it was a licensing issue as well. You know, and these licensing deals, just like we find out with the Porsche deal, letting the cars come back to other developers, it also works the other way as well. Deals expire, and if they don't have the licensing rights to those anymore, it's the good and the bad of having digital now. We can play more stuff, more older stuff, which is fun. But once those licensing deals expire, you can't. If you had it already, you're fine. It's if you want to purchase it at a later date, that's where you run into the problem.
Yeah, it is fascinating to hear that these licensing deals do expire after a few years, and they don't. I mean, I don't know. I some people. I saw some people kind of like no, and I'm kind of like it's a 3-year-old game. Like I don't like who's going out and picking up Codemasters 2013 or F1 2013.
I did.
Yeah?
I did because I like the classic cars in it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
and
go.
I also, I got Grid.
When did you purchase it? Recently?
Last year.
Okay, well that's last year. That's what I'm getting at. It's
2013. Well, I have a penchant for. I picked up Grid last year because I didn't have it on the PC. I had it with I had it on whatever it was, PS3 or 360, whatever it was. But I wanted to play it on PC. I wanted to see what it was like with that. So there's an argument to be made where, yeah, you can say I am not a graphics person. I love a game to look good, but I care more about how something plays than like the prettiest graphics ever. So I'm that guy that'll go way back. I can have just as much fun playing a Nintendo game as I do playing a modern game. It's I don't know. You could make the argument that the games are iterative. I was watching IGN one time, and they were trying to list the best Gran Turismo game, and so they just listed the last one because they're like, well, it's iterative. And my argument would be it is, but it isn't. There are different ways that those games play that I actually prefer 2 and 3 versus 4, 5, and 6.
Oh sure, no, that makes sense. I don't know. I looked at those games and I was kind of like, Yeah, I mean, I guess F1 2013 does have the old F1 cars, but I'm kind of like, if you want to go drive old F1 cars, there's plenty of other titles on the PC to go do that. F1 2016 overall. F1 2016.
Yes and no.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Automobilista, Project Cars.
Yeah,
Who
but
else?
it doesn't have the breadth of the cars that are in it. It has the Williams, the Lotus, does it have the McLaren in it? There's like 3 or 4 manufacturers in there.
I think it has McLaren and Ferrari.
Ferrari. So having all those in one, no.
Liveries.
I would disagree.
Okay, fine. Man, I don't want to. I don't want to have this argument anymore. I don't like this. Moving on. Okay, well, I apologize to Billy and the 10 others of you who are buying those games in 2017.
I just think it's unfortunate because let's say maybe you had it on another platform, and for whatever reason, maybe you had a disc version of those games, and then I don't know, something happened and you couldn't use it anymore. You know, the computer that you were using crashed, and you know, some unfortunate incident. It's highly unlikely, but maybe the disc got scratched so bad that it couldn't work anymore, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go. Hey, you know, I can go download it on. Oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
Maybe that was some. I don't know. I have a problem. It's just like what they did. I mentioned Grand Theft Auto. They got rid of the 17 licensed songs in there. You know, and for somebody that associates that with a time period in their life, when you change something like that, we are losing the essence of the title, the game or sim or whatever you want to call these things. You're losing the essence of that, and not preserving those things is, I think, is a problem. That's what we ran into with a lot of NES and Super Nintendo titles and stuff like that. I think preserving these games in their original state, and that's something we run into the problem with now, where you could make the argument that games get better because we allow these updates, but you also don't get the initial state of the game. Where's the history of that? And we're still such a new medium with this that a lot of people don't think about the history part. They just think about the end result. So that's kind of where I come from.
No, that makes sense. I will say, I don't want to play the beginning of any sim racing title that's modern. Like the first iteration of
it makes it rough. But that is a product. Of what we have allowed. Right? That's a product of what we have allowed as consumers. As consumers, we've said it's okay to do this instead of coming up with a good, solid product to begin with.
I mean, yes. I mean, we've allowed it to some degree, and also there's
a difference in having DLC.
Ecosystem.
Yeah, well, there's a difference in having a platform versus coming out with something and going, that's not very good.
Yeah.
You know.
Damn us.
Damn.
That's what it is. We got to it. It's our fault. Okay. That makes me feel better.
Right.
It fulfills my self-hatred. Gotta do that. Moving on.
I can help you more with that if you want.
Oh, you and Chad are killing me right now. Where are we at? iRacing 2017 special events were announced. I went ahead and just pulled up the webpage here, a little easier to see. There are 11 events, beginning with the Roar on January 13th through 15th, which runs the slow lower city cars, Kia Optima, Ford Mustang, MX-5 Cup car, around Daytona for a 25-minute lap time. And then you go to 24 Hours Daytona. I mean, really classics this year. Sebring, Nürburgring, Indianapolis, Le Mans, the Glen, Spa. This is kind of the oddball of the group. They're like, we need to get a race in with the old Camel series, so we're gonna do a 500-mile. I assume that's 500-mile race around. 500 kilometers.
I was gonna say it's probably kilometer.
Yes, 500-kilometer race around Road America, which good car and track combo. Then Petit Le Mans, and then the Bathurst 1000 returns, which I'm glad they didn't have it this year. Darren and I talked about running it in 2015. But we didn't, and then and to be fair, I saw the races were pretty rough. That's a hard track to get around in one piece for that long. But it's back, and I'm not gonna make any promises because I feel like if we make promises, we just miss out on them. But I really do want to try to run that race this year. I'm gonna say more likely than not I'm not, just because I can't predict anything. But I would like to run that race because I do love Bathurst and those cars. But yeah, good luck.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would be fun to try.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about looking at that. It's 11 races. They're spread out between January and last, I think, Petites in October. I think it would be. I mean, I look at how busy we always talk about how busy we are, especially you get to run a little more games, doing the test drives and doing that kind of stuff. But with a lot of the hardware stuff we do, or I do these days, it's hard to run a lot of races, but having these events do kind of give points in the calendar where I can kind of go, okay, I can circle this and maybe put some effort.
Right, work toward it, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe have the same wheel and pedal set on my rig for the week leading up. That's my biggest issue. I'm constantly changing out hardware, so I can drive competently enough for videos and B-roll and stuff like that, but to really have myself dialed in and ready to feel comfortable for an endurance race, I need to have the same hardware on there for more than 5 minutes.
It's tough. If iRacing has kind of been one of those things where I notice it's you do iRacing and maybe one other sim if you're gonna actually want to be seriously competitive. Doing anything else seems to hamper that.
Yes. So I saw a comment, no Daytona 500. They don't. I also saw people say oh, no dirt stuff, which I will say, it would have been kind of cool if they would have done the trucks at Eldora, or something like that. That would have been kind of cool to see. But it's always kind of been a little more endurance races plus the Indy 500. That's kind of always been the iRacing special events, which. If you ran in that Indy 500, it feels like it's just as long as all those endurance events in terms of. Just,
do they have a Daytona 500 in there? I missed it.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't have that. I feel like they might have used to, but now that
I thought they did.
Well, now that they run, they used to have Daytona 500. That's right. They used to run the full length. I tried it. I ran half the race and I quit because it was just so long. A lot of cautions, but anyway. Since they run the whole series along with NASCAR, and they run, I'm pretty sure still at 50% races, those are kind of they let the NASCAR stuff all go there on a weekly basis. So
all right.
I think that makes sense. I mean, the big endurance events, we can get together the team. We're doing that right now with the 24 Hours Daytona, trying to get things organized. That's a little more fun, in my opinion. Let's see. Last news event that we have here, which we're an hour in, so got to get to this stuff. This is finally the week. The $1 million Formula E race is happening this weekend, and it's now the Visa Vegas E race. And when you get a sponsor like Visa on board, that's pretty big. And the $1 million purse, $200,000 to the winner. We talked about this a lot. I wanted to bring up the Formula E page here because they actually have the schedule. I guess they have a practice on Friday, which I don't know if any of that's going to be showing online. And then Saturday they got practice and qualifying, and then 4 p.m. local time is the race, which is 7 o'clock Eastern, and I believe midnight over there for you guys over in the UK. But it is going to be commentated by the actual Formula E commentators, Jack Nichols, who actually I was talking to him on Twitter earlier today, and he said that he got to start calling races in sim racing. He said 8 years ago he started calling races in sim racing. That's kind of how he got into broadcasting. So that's cool. And then IndyCar legend Dario Franchitti, of course, and they're going to be streamed here on Twitch, it looks like, and here's some of the links. And when this race goes off, we'll definitely be sharing on our social media info on that Saturday night. And then also just wanted to run through the drivers again. Five of these guys from Team Redline coming out in force, but other guys, Graham Carroll, David Greco, these are all aliens and household names if you follow some of the competitive esport type stuff of sim racing. So, yeah,
Right.
this is gonna be cool. So here's my question to you, Billy.
Uh-oh.
Let's play a little game here. Of the top 10 finishers, how many of them are sim racers? Because I didn't say it. It's 10 sim racers versus the 20 real world Formula E drivers, and each sim racer has been put on a team. So maybe there'll be 3 cars of the same livery out there or something. But yeah, how many sim racers will finish in the top 10?
I say you're going to get 6 to 7.
I think that's about right. I think on outright speed, they could probably be 9 or 10 of the top 10.
Yeah, but I think
crashes.
some of them will. Yeah, I think you might get a little overzealous, or get run into.
Yeah,
So
and to be fair, some of these real world guys, it'll be interesting how much they practice at it, and I guess they're up for the purse as well. So I mean that's probably a little more incentive for them to practice a little more if you can get
Right.
$200,000 because let's be honest, not all race car drivers are exactly rolling in the dough these days. So and it's interesting. Some real world drivers I feel like jump into sim racing and they kind of don't do great, and then other guys jump in and they're like aliens. I know we had Scott McLaughlin from V8 Supercars in our Daytona 24-hour race last year in our split. Oh, he was the fastest guy out there. We were in the second split, and he was just consistent killing lap times.
Wow.
So during the entire race, as the track changed and everything, they had a good car, but he was definitely the fastest guy on their team. So, some of those guys do jump in, and it translates.
yeah,
So it'll be interesting, and also it's going to be such a crazy atmosphere because I assume they're going to have rigs set up, and it looks like Placey came out with a special Formula E rig that they'll probably be on, and yeah, it's going to be quite the environment. So we'll see how these guys who are used to normally racing by themselves in their own house, or maybe like Team Redline, I don't know if they race over at the little like setup they have. This is going to be a lot more potential pressure.
yeah, you'll have the added pressure of a crowd watching you. It'll be interesting to see how well they isolate themselves. And I don't know if they even, I mean, some of those guys have driven in big profile sim races, so you would think that they have their nerves and stuff under enough control to perform at that level. So I don't think it would affect them too much. It's mainly just not getting overexcited. You've got a big prize on the line, and it's mainly keeping that excitement, especially if you think you can win, under control.
No, I agree. They definitely, these guys definitely have some nerves of steel in general. But yeah, once you are in that public eye, and you could win $200,000 has never been up for grabs.
I was gonna say it's not exactly chump change.
No. Again, and these guys won $20,000 for just being there, so that's amazing. So yeah, that'll be fascinating, and I hope it's a good race. I hope the production, streaming stuff can always be difficult, but I know they're doing all professional streamers who are used to doing big events, and especially some place like CES, which there can't be enough Ethernet, whatever you need in a place like that.
Right, yeah.
Everything going on. So yeah, I just hope that all goes off well, and it does. It looks good and gets people excited. It does kind of suck that it's not going to be on till like midnight over there in the UK and even later, in some of the other countries as you go more east. So that kind of stinks. But
yeah,
I'll be tuning in Saturday night to catch that because that's a big deal, and we should all watch it and support it and tell Formula E they're doing a great thing. So maybe they'll do it again.
Right? Yeah.
I don't know. Give it. Pump it up. Do your part.
If this is the direction you want it to go, then you got to support what's going on.
Exactly. Okay, so with that, hour on the nose, we finally killed the news, and move on to happenings. Nothing too crazy here. Tomorrow, the review for this guy will be coming out. the Fanatec brake performance kit. Well, it'll be coming out tomorrow if I get my editing done. So that's on the schedule. And then after that, I had some questions about what's coming up. We released the PlayStation 4 Buyer's Guide back a couple weeks ago, Wheel Buyer's Guide. I'll be back on the Xbox One. I actually have done some work on it. I just wanted to do this, and then we also had the TSPC review. So the Xbox One Buyer's Guide is coming up, and then we'll probably do the TSPC versus the Fanatec CSW V2, and probably CSL Elite in there as well. And then after that, I'll probably jump to the PC Buyer's Guide after that's done, because that's kind of important. And then after that, I think going to check out the Next Level V3 motion platform, which I have gotten that up and running and have been using. You saw it moving in the TSPC review. That thing is amazingly quiet.
Really?
It makes like no sound. I mean, motion platforms are, they make sound. They're squeaking and stuff like that. You have the volume up loud or headphones. I mean, and that's fine. It's just like it's something that you accept with along that way. This thing makes like no sound. It is crazy. So very impressed with that. But I will be doing a review on that, and that's kind of the outlook there. Billy, you since you've been down, you got what are you planning on working on?
So I want to do the Formula Dirt, and take a look at Formula Dirt and the trucks in Automobilista, see if those are something I want to do. I'm trying to focus more on things that I enjoy. It's really easy to be down on something, and I'm trying to make it more positive. Like, it seems I get a better reaction and we get a better response when it's something that I really enjoy. Like, you can hear audibly that I'm having fun with it. So I want to do stuff that I enjoy. So as long as those two are fun, I'll do those. Then what else? I mentioned the Formula RaceRoom 3. What else? The Assetto Corsa Porsche Pack 3. I still need to do one in there. And I mentioned something else. Now I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, and on the Porsche line, I wanted to do a video on the Porsche Pack 3. I didn't get to it. I've only driven the 2016 version of the LMP1 car. I have some footage of that coming up in this brake pedal review. I didn't drive very long. I didn't get a opportunity to tune on the setup because I was driving around Zandvoort, and that thing pushed like a dump truck. I need more front downforce. But I love the 2015 version once I dialed in at Silverstone. Yeah, I think we definitely should do a video when the RSR comes out, 911. Yeah. That'd be cool. And even and then also, when iRacing releases that Cup car, should probably do something on that.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious. I was kind of kicking this around. Maybe do. Last year did some like head-to-head videos, I called them, where I showed off different versions of Nordschleife, like Assetto Corsa, RaceRoom, iRacing. Now that the Cup car is out, and it's out in Assetto Corsa, it's going to come out in iRacing, maybe do something and drive those back-to-back, side-by-side, show off how they compare and contrast. And then, and then say which one's better, and piss off half of the
because that's what
racers.
The internet loves. Oh.
Yeah.
I still kind of, I know we briefly touched on this, but even if you don't have time to do it, I still kind of want to do a 2016 year in review. I don't know if that's something people would be interested in, but I think not only from, what I liked and didn't like, just kind of like my journey, if you will, on how 2016 went for me, kind of the things that I learned from starting on ISR in February till now. Mm-hmm. There's it's just like so many different things. I don't know if that'd be interesting or not, but we'll see.
We gotta figure out how to shoehorn into the schedule.
Right.
But yeah, and then last up on happenings here, with the iRacing Daytona 24-hour coming up, want to run a race after next week's show, and probably the week after that as well. kind of like what we did with Le Mans. So we'll open that up to everyone. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe after the show, maybe a 60-minute practice session, maybe only 30. I kind of want to get in and race, but 30, 60-minute practice session, quick qualifying, and then go do a 45-minute race or whatever the fuel stint is. I haven't, obviously, if my teammates are watching, I haven't been practicing.
Shh.
I know.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
I know, time management. Keep on doing all these long editing reviews. I'm thinking that's going to be the idea, and we'll put something out to try to attract, try to get plenty of people to come out and race, and race if you just want to race in it, or race if you're preparing for the 24. Either way, that's a pretty cool car and track combo. So we'll do that. Lastly, before we get to Q&A, and hopefully Billy is grabbing some of those Q&A things.
That I am.
Oh, excellent. Last show of 2016, we did something called a mail-in question, where ask a question and then you send your answers to info@InsideSimRacing.tv. No, this was not a ploy to get your email address, as someone in the comment section said on YouTube. As I responded to them, we have 30,000 followers in the forums, and like 20,000 of them are signed up on like the mailing list or something. So we have 20,000 of your emails. If we wanted to get you, we could get you. But we don't.
You just, you go and spoil our plans. And
I know.
It's really
We're going to
upsetting.
take over the world.
I was looking forward to that.
I know. I kind of want to now. I've been watching Mr. Robot. I don't know if you ever watched that show. But
no.
If you watch that show, you'll want to be a hacker.
All I could think of when you started saying that was Pinky in the Brain. So try to take over the world.
I love Pinky in the Brain.
No.
But anyway, had a few responses. Thank you for those who responded and everyone else. Tisk tisk. The question was, do you have what was the question? I don't even have it up anymore. A long time ago, can't remember. We asked, tell us about your worst sim racing habit. And I talked about some of mine being commentating in my head, rolling my foot for braking, which is a bad habit that I do. And let's see. So I'm going to read a few responses here, since we only got a few. Matt Farron said, hopefully I didn't butcher that too bad. First, thanks for been watching ISR TV for years. Thank you for the resource. Thank you. Let's see. He says, I will sit down on my rig and go, all right, time to race. I'll choose a sim. Let's say, for instance, Automobilista. I will get out on the track and do a few laps. I might notice something like a bit of aliasing that I didn't notice before on the track line paint, or a frame rate stutter every couple of minutes. At that point, it's off to Google and digging through .ini files and graphics settings. I will spend an hour or two trying to make the sim perfect. Finally, I will figure something out, do a few laps, say to myself, cool, fix that, perfect. My work here is done. Then I will get out of my rig and go on with my day. Sometimes I feel like I spend 10% of my in-rig time actually racing, other 90% time fixing things and trying out mods. Oh man, I feel you. This was my complaint, where I complain about, especially my days in rFactor, where I spent more time trying to get the damn thing run than actually racing. So I understand that. He said, my sim racing bad habits, rolling my feet like John, shifting one too many gears when slowing into a corner. I do that every once in a while. And yeah, so that was... Oh, I'm sorry. We changed
No,
here.
that was... what's
That was
his name?
Peter. That was Peter Enzers. That's right. I'm sorry. So yeah, Peter's things was rolling his feet and shifting down too early. Like I said, I do both of those. And then Tom Jones wrote, my worst sim racing habit has to be to give up the position too easily if somebody catches me. Almost always no race them, just let them have the position. And yeah, so...
Well, stop it.
Yeah. Come on, Tom. So yeah, those these things all make a lot. Like I relate to all of these. I mean, it's like the whole dinking around with the computer before and not racing. I get you.
Yep, I remind myself not to do that. It is very easy to do. It's very easy to go, oh man, this doesn't look right, and I try not to do that with the sim racing stuff because it's supposed to be fun, and depending on your definition of fun, but mine is getting in and just driving. I've raced other stuff, and I still have the kart I can race, and if I want to just like rack my brain on how to set something up and just go all the way in, then that's what that's for. Sim racing is supposed to be fun for me, so
Yeah.
I try to remind myself of that, although it doesn't always work. You know, you do a little rage quit every once in a while. Boy, I really have to temper myself sometimes when I'm on the microphone, too, when I'm doing my, let's say you should hear the ones that I don't send you. How about that?
Oh, you need to start sending them, and then we need to do just put them all together of Billy's greatest curses.
Oh, my. It's just going to be one long beep. Because when I get excited, I let it fly. And it's not very good. So,
That's funny.
yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't tinker with stuff as much as I used to with like graphics and stuff like that, especially how much hopping around we do. But because we do so much hopping around, and because there are so many updates in a title's life, I always forget like what the hotkeys are, and because I'm always changing
Oh, yeah.
hardware, I'm having to go and look, and so many of them are just not easy to find. Like you have to go and Google them and dig through forums, and it's just like I've started taking notes. I got sticky notes on the back of my monitor with some different settings to remind me. Like for example, like Assetto Corsa, like to like recenter VR. I think it's like the space key or something, and you can't map it to a button for some reason. So that's one thing. It's one thing when you can kind of go and map a few things. At least then I go through and I just go down the list. But when it's like hotkeys, it's like I don't remember. Too much.
Yeah. I tried really hard to like assign the same thing to all the like my button box and everything. If I can get around it so I can assign those things in the same way, I do it. Otherwise, I get lost. Like you said, we bounce around so much. I'm like, what? And like the one that throws me for a loop is one sims that use the escape key to go back into like the pits or to pause or something like that, instead of having a pause or escape, mappable to the I always forget. I'm like, how does this and then I've just messed up everything.
Yep. So let's see. So okay, I had to look at the notes again. So yeah, I think that that wraps it up for that. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll have to do some more mailing questions and work on participation, guys.
Yeah, homework.
Yeah, we kind of failed. We got about like 1% of the input as the response that we normally do when we have a pull up here on YouTube. So, yeah. Okay, so with that, we're gonna move on to Q&A, and I see that Billy already has some down here, and you can go ahead and put more in chat, and we'll try to grab them or put them in as we go. Do need a note: our Q&A segment this week has a sponsor.
All right.
Yeah, we are sponsored by ProSimU, which, if you're interested in their products, you can head over to our website. This nice, pretty website, all this info. There's a banner right here. Oh, crap. I clicked on the banner, opened it in a different tab that you guys can't see. 1 second here. Okay, here's where it should have taken you. And you can check out ProSimU products. And there is something I'm supposed to read here. So they offer shipping cost and ProSimU carpet for buying a T1002 Motion or T1003 Motion without seats, and price from €15.75 up. So there you go. They got a lot of different things. They got like different pieces. Like if you just need pieces or parts or stationary rigs, butt kicker stands, seatbelts. All sorts of stuff here.
All right.
So there you go. So onwards and upwards to Q&A. Sponsored by ProSimU.
All right. Dun, 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 dun.
You want to start? I'm talking too much.
There is no such thing. So Rich asks, any plans to get someone from iRacing on for a Q&A like the Tony Gardner interview nearly a year ago? Thanks.
Yeah, this was a interesting question because I was thinking about this the other day. That I think we had Tony on February of last year, March, somewhere in there, and definitely would like to have him on again. So yes, we'll have to work on that because there's a lot to chat with him about.
Yeah. I find the stories behind the game or the sim to be equally as interesting to me. Maybe not other people, but I always think those kinds of things are fascinating. Like what went into development, what kind of problems and hurdles they got to, and then for a platform like iRacing, because they are continually evolving, what the challenges are and trying to keep up with customer expectations and stuff.
Keeping up with customer expectations, impossible.
That's why I said challenges.
Let's see. Caden Bin asks, what are the best sims physics-wise? I know iRacing is probably number one, but what else I like 2 and 3 in your opinion? Oh yeah, these are... Hey, thank you. Thank you, Spatial Dragon.
Thanks.
Donating $5. Thank you very much, sir.
It's very nice of you.
Let's see. This is a question to get us in trouble. So no, I do like iRacing physics quite a bit. I will say their newer cars are definitely noticeably better than their older cars.
Their new stuff is definitely much better.
Their 2016. I know, like even when I was driving different titles in the TSPC review, and I messed up, and I only filmed myself driving iRacing. So everyone's like, "You just drove iRacing." It's like, relax. I'll drive a couple titles. I don't drive them all.
Hey, when it's your channel, you can do what you want. Oh,
exactly. Yeah. People need to realize I'm happy for the most part when I got B-roll where I'm not making a mistake, because if you make a mistake and show it out there, you'll get made fun of. So I made it sound like I'm a terrible driver and I make mistakes all the time. Anyway, I do like iRacing, but I did specifically in that review, I drove only cars released in 2016. I had the F1 car in there also, but that was like end of 2015, and that car, I really like how the physics feel on that. So I stuck to newer car because some of the older ones, like I know when we did Le Mans, the LMP2 car was a bit of a struggle bus at times on the physics side.
I did not mesh well with that car.
Yeah. Other titles I like Assetto Corsa physics a lot. I think they feel very good. I like Automobilista physics. I don't know. What do you got, Billy?
I would have to list so far to date. I think Automobilista is the one I feel most connected with. But the last few updates of RaceRoom, I really like RaceRoom a lot as well. Assetto Corsa feels good. Depends on the car, but Assetto Corsa feels really good. And depends also on the car and rFactor too. Some feel pretty good, some don't, and there's a whole argument about how realistic things are, and I don't know how people go around assessing that anyways. But as far as like a fun driving experience, I really like Automobilista a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. A couple things that popped up quickly here in chat that I wanted to grab. Ronnie, last name, I'm sorry. John, did you watch the Winter Classic? Yes, I did. I was happy to see my St. Louis Blues take down the Chicago Blackhawks. Go Blues. And then Andy Morales said, did you see the BMW awful art car livery for the M6? Yes, it is hideous. You should look up BMW M6 art car and look at how hideous it is. And it'll be in the 24 Hours Daytona. So
I did not see that yet.
Oh my god, it's stupid. It's just stupid. It's not even hideous. It's just dumb. Okay, what else we got? Tom Jones, you want to take that one?
Q&A, what did you guys get sim-related for Christmas? Did you get anything, John?
I mean, anything. I bought stuff on Black Friday. I mean, I got the TSPC to review, so I mean, I got to use that some more.
There you go.
But no, I did not get anything purchased for me for sim racing. What about you?
Well, just in case. I don't know if this is even going to show up.
Oh, nice.
My wife got me a new set of gloves, which is always appreciated, and she got me over handbrake.
Nice. Good stuff.
I can not be that commoner that only I'm being facetious, but playing the rally stuff with a handbrake should be fun instead of getting raked over the coals about how I'm not using a handbrake in a video. Anyway.
And by the way, I'm seeing some people put what they got, which is awesome. Michael Andrews said he got a 3D printer to make racing parts. Yes, me and Michael have been chatting, and I was actually just texting with him today. Want to make I'm looking around like I have a wheel right next to me. Want to make a phone mount to go on the TSPC Racer have it 3D printed, because it has that hole in the middle of the rim that I think works out really well for attaching a phone to it, utilizing that for brackets and whatnot. So I think we'll be working on that since Michael's local. Thank you, Tom Jones, for another donation. You guys are the best. Man, once in a while, if the stream doesn't break, we'll be okay. Man.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you. So what was I just saying? Oh, anyway, next question.
All right. Let's see.
This is to you. I'll read it though. Frank Zappa, Billy, where can I hear some of your music your band is doing? Sorry, I think you may have mentioned this before.
I don't have any for the current band yet. We recorded some in 2015, and then we unfortunately fired my vocalist. Well, it was a mutual deal, and then I took up vocals and guitar at the same time, and we just haven't had an opportunity to go in the studio this year because we've been doing a lot of writing. And so now that we're playing shows this year, the goal is to try and get into the studio. I have stuff from before, and I'm not going to link that, so good luck finding that. So if we get something out this year, then I will share it.
Very cool. Oh yes, Avenger Richard, I saw your comment there. Yeah, I was thinking of you when it comes to designing something up. I might be chatting with you. By the way, while I have an opportunity, I do want to say, if you saw the PlayStation 4 buyer's guide, I had a little thing at the end talking about my mom and cancer and donating. And I do want to thank people who have donated and reached out to me. It's been really nice. Gotten a lot of nice emails, people talking about having family members with cancer and that kind of stuff. So just want to say I really appreciated it. That turned into a little bit longer of a thing that I anticipated, and I actually think I'm gonna cut that off the end of that video and do that as like a separate link. But if you didn't see the video, my mom has stage 4 cancer. It's a rare form, and had to go down to Mexico for some treatment, and very expensive. So again, thank you for all different comments. Got a lot of great feedback from people.
Our thoughts are with you, man. That's my dad did not have it as bad, but it's not fun having a family member go through it. So
nope, it is not. So let's see. Tom Jones, is the TSPC race what?
Sorry, real quick. I had a question about the music I play. It's heavy-ish melodic. It's not like super heavy, like lots of screaming and stuff, but it's definitely not like pop rock. It's more melodic and heavy. But I actually sing. I don't scream. So, yeah.
Oh man, the other day I was having a throwback to like my high school angsty self, and I was listening to the old Avenged Sevenfold albums.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was into a lot of that kind of stuff.
That guy like drinks gravel.
Oh god. That's what I'm saying. I'm listening to this. I'm just like, oh, that's a tough thing though. You make those songs that hit big when you're young, and they're scream songs, and then you get older, and it's like, I still gotta scream this.
It's tough.
Yeah. Moving on. Tom Jones, as a TSPC racer, going to replace the T300 for you, John? Yeah, it will. It will for PC duties. I mean, it's a better wheel. And I do want to clarify. I don't know if it's worth clarifying because a lot of you guys watch us every week, and you guys do a pretty good job of staying on top of what we talk about. But had some comments from that review that kind of frustrated me. I guess I wasn't clear enough at the end, where people were like, "Well, you don't really seem like you're too, kind of like on the wheel." And what I was trying to get at, because I hear a dog.
Apparently, somebody's knocking on my front door. My dogs don't like it.
Oh, yeah, that happens. So, but what I was trying to get at is that it's a $500 wheel, and you get $500 worth of performance. I mean, it is a good wheel for the price. Now, I don't think it's quite like the T300 and TX, that kind of range of wheels. Those ones kind of really outperform their price. But I think for the money, the TSPC is a good wheel. So that's what I was trying to get at, and obviously I should have just said that. But PC duty, I will be running it.
I would like to at some point try one, so I might put that on my budget.
I know we really gotta, Darren. We really gotta get get Billy a TSPC.
Well, that's not that. It's not necessary.
Oh, I think we can pull some strings. I think we can do it. You want to take the next one?
Okay, scroll back up here real quick because I was copying and pasting. Man Cave Racing TV. John, with all the sim gear you have, can you not set up a dedicated iRacing rig so you can do endurance races? Yeah, what about that, man? Come on.
I do have a couple rigs right now that aren't set up. Actually, the other day we're cleaning out some stuff on Friday, and I was thinking I really got to sell some stuff off. So if you want to get an Oboto Revolution and you live semi close to Dayton, Ohio, I think I'm gonna be selling on the forums here soon for cheap. There's another rig probably gonna get rid of too, but yeah, I mean it's really a PC thing. That's what it comes down to. If I had a bunch of gaming PCs, I'd have like 3 or 4 rigs set up. But really, I got the editing PC, which isn't even my PC. This is my girlfriend's PC that I've pretty much stolen, according to her. So I don't even, so I got this PC, and then I got one gaming PC, and to go and have to unplug things and go from rig to rig just isn't feasible. So what we need, and Darren and I have talked about this. Yes, Darren, I mean the Ozone. I always get that wrong. Ozone, that's what I own. A fairly beat up Ozone at this point. But what we need is a computer maker sponsorship, so we can get multiple computers in here, then can have multiple rigs set up.
There you go.
Yeah, it gets pricey. Let's see. John Ulmer, is Billy running Daytona as well?
No. If I even try to do something, I really want to wait till I get that new internet, and apparently they got behind schedule. It was supposed to be in December, and now they're looking at February. I'd really just like to get a better internet connection. If I do try, it'll be the one before it with the Mustang. I thought that'd be interesting just to give it a shot. And I'll jump in with, if I have time, I'll jump in next week with you guys and roll around in the back.
Where are we at? Tom Jones, Billy, did the Best Buy offer a $150 gift card with the purchase of a Rift? Tempt you? Okay.
Actually, I did think about it, but I managed to just say no. I need to wait.
Was that a deal?
Huh?
Was that a deal?
Yeah, there was a few deals actually for Oculus during the holidays. So I was kind of like, I'm really trying to wait for the next revision to see what they improve on with resolution and stuff like that. So I'm trying to. Usually I'm a first adopter, and I'm really trying not to be with this one.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. There were some crazy rumors that like they're going to see some improved VR at CES this week, but I don't know. I'll believe it when we see it.
Well, they're also talking about wireless.
Yeah,
Just FYI, they're talking about at CES showing off wireless, so there's no cables whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't quite believe that yet. I will say, I was at a friend's house last week, or I think it was a Christmas Day, and he had he's got like a Samsung S7 too, and he had like the Samsung VR.
Oh yeah,
thing,
the Gear VR.
Which
Yep.
I'd only heard was terrible, but then I put it on, was playing a space game or a space shooter type thing. It was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I was actually kind of impressed by how good it was for a phone. Let's see. Jonah Hosen. Quick question. I got the Thrustmaster TX with the TPX adapter. Could I run my basic Fanatec CSR pedals on the Xbox One? Maybe Darren will get this one. He knows.
I was gonna say, wasn't that one for the 360, or am I thinking of something else? Or is that the Basher boards one? I don't know.
Honestly, I don't remember. It should work fine for the PC with that adapter. The Xbox One, I'm not entirely sure. I want to say yes, but I do not know.
I know. Okay.
I really I've been saying this forever. We really got to do an adapter show where we round up all the adapters and do them in one show.
If it plugs into the wheelbase, which I believe that adapter does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Then it should recognize the pedals.
Yeah.
Because it's the base that's the issue, not the pedals.
Correct. Yes. It's the USB. It's the base plugged in via USB that's telling it that it's, I don't know, an Xbox One compatible wheel. However they do that. So yeah, I like to think it should work, but I can't fully tell you. But yeah, we do need to do an adapter show, and we do need to, I guess, reach out and get adapters from everyone. You want to take the next one?
Do any of you guys have a sim vibe set up on your rigs? If you do, how do you have it set up, and why do you have it set up that way? Now, you don't. I don't have any of that stuff yet. You do, but it's not hooked up yet? Is that correct?
And that is that. Oh, Darren, by the way, says that it will work on the Xbox One. So there you go. That's a good answer. Yes, I do. It's not hooked up, and actually, that needs to be added to the two. That's going to be that's coming up with all those other things that I talked about earlier shows. I'm going to do that because I got my speakers I still haven't hooked up, and I want to get those hooked up. I got to go get some speaker wire for those. And then I'm going to do a sim vibe setup and going to do a video on it. And now that I got the motion platform, now I can go and set that up now. So yes, that will be coming. So yes, the answer to your question will be, it will be in a video very I don't know, very soon, but soon.
You'll be rolling.
Oh, there is busy times. Just remember when you watch just remember when you watch these videos and you're like, man, this sucks. I spent a little time with them.
Just a small amount.
Just a small amount. Yes. No, I do really want to get, and also Leonard G here has said, Sim 5 is a must, and yes. Yes, that's the Sim 5 on Darren's rig. It is very good, and I have been slacking because we've been so busy with videos getting that done. So that is coming up. I want it now. Steve Baxter, anywhere I can get info on settings for direct drive for rFactor 2, I can't get the sim to recognize my wheel or HE pedals. I'm not sure on this one.
I would call whoever you got the direct drive from, or email their support, because I have not. I've tried several different. I mean, they've been Thrustmaster products, but different wheelbases, and I've tried Fanatec pedals. I tried the Ricmotech pedals. I tried Thrustmaster. They all recognize with rFactor 2, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but hopefully the company that you bought that from should be able to point you in the right direction. Unfortunately, I don't think any of us have encountered that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, what wheel you have? Um, if you have a sim experience wheel, then you can got Darren right here. If not, then yeah, I'm not sure. But I don't know. I'm not sure why that would be. I wonder if
Yeah.
something else kind of odd going on. If they're both not being recognized, that's the thing that's kind of interesting. It's one thing if it was one or the other, but if they're both not being recognized and they're plugged in, I assume, USB.
Make sure that they're plugged into 2.0 ports. Sometimes that can be an issue because 3.0 is powered. Is that right? So I know I've had issues plugging stuff into 3.0 sometime. So I try to just plug everything into the 2.0s. So maybe that's an issue. I don't know.
Yep. Let's see. Racing 393. What is your opinion? What in your opinion makes people aliens in sim racing? How do people drive so fast? I think I'm quite good, but nowhere near the aliens. Is it hardware, practice, skills? What say you, Billy?
I'm going to tell you it's usually a combination of practice and skill. You've already got to have, in my opinion, you've already got to have the disposition to be able to recognize and come up with the fast laps. Practicing helps you hone that ability, and it's not just turning hot laps, it's getting out and racing with other people. It's no different than the real world. When I tried road racing, I had no idea what I was doing, but man, it looked cool. I was slinging the thing sideways and all kinds of stuff. I was passing people, but I wasn't very fast until I got out into race and realized where my shortcomings were. And then having that ability to recognize what you're doing wrong, being able to adapt to situations, that's where dirt really helps. And is it hardware? The hardware is going to get you just a little bit.
Yes.
You've got to have things set up correctly, obviously, and you've got to, getting comfortable with whatever wheel and pedal set you have makes a big difference. The more time you put in to something over and over again, it's just no different than driving the same sim over and over again. The more you drive it, the more experiences you have with things happening outside of the norm. And so that makes you a better driver. You can adapt quicker. That's why you see people that run iRacing a lot, like I was talking about earlier. They typically don't run a whole bunch of other things, and they're really, really good at iRacing. So
Yeah.
that's practice. But you do have to have some sort of natural talent, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Yeah, hardware is a small part of it. We've seen plenty of quote unquote aliens running some real basic stuff. So, and real basic setups like table clamp and throw some pedals on the floor, and they're out there kicking butt. So
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. I've watched a couple interviews with some of the top iRacing guys, and like they're talking about how they don't like to have a lot of force feedback, and they bought like a brand new wheel and base setup, and then they went back to their G27s or whatever they got used to running.
they're not striving for the most realistic experience.
No,
they're
looking
striving
for. There you go.
for speed, for time. So there's a lot of times when you get like force feedback. I mean, it's registering bumps, and it's kicking your wheel. So if you go and turn that way down, you can go over those bumps, and you still sometimes got to make adjustments to the bumps so you don't spin out. But you're not getting that kick on the wheel. You're not fighting the wheel. So sometimes you just kind of float on through there a little easier if you don't have stuff turned up. So
I don't have mine turned up real heavy.
I don't run mine super heavy either. That's why I kind of get a little, I don't know. I get a little annoyed by some of the force feedback pissing matches, because it's like, you see these race car drivers, power steering guys, only the IndyCar guys with no power steering are like falling out of their seats trying to turn the wheel. It's like,
And most of those, the sprint car is the same way. It's an assisted, just like the Indy cars, and that wheel can get heavy. But even when I run some of this other stuff, I don't need it to try to rip my arms off.
Yep. Nope. Exactly.
Oh, thanks, Darren.
Yes. Thank you, Darren Ralph, for the donation. It looks like it does. Looks like it does work from Australia. Yeah, I've seen you guys chat about it. The donation thing, I think it's a geo thing. A lot to do with it working or not working. John Hoy, I'm running a racing/flight sim with Windows 7 just fine. What advantages to upgrading to Windows 10 is there? Been resisting upgrading the OS. Windows 10, if you're just racing and not streaming, overall it works fine. I like Windows 10 over 7 in terms of just, usability. It's just when things go wrong. And the annoying thing about Windows 10, the biggest thing, is you have limited control over updates. And when you get updates like you're doing a live stream, like we had back in our last show, things tend to blow up. So, besides that type of stuff, I do like the look of Windows 7 or Windows 10, and getting to certain areas is less work in Windows 10 than it was in 7. Less clicks, less, you put a new hard drive, it recognizes the hard drive right away. You don't have to go in and turn that hard drive on like you have to in Win 7. So, there's some ease stuff there. It's just I think it's fine for just sim racing. It's just annoying for like streaming.
I've got a question for me. 04G Dog. Hey, Billy, have you had a chance to try out Crew Chief V4 for RaceRoom yet? If you were the person that suggested that to me, I have not been able to jump back into RaceRoom yet. So, no. But I'd like to.
Yes. Jamie Luna, new to sim racing here, but just had a quick, hopefully not stupid question. Where do you think it's the best place to start with tinkering custom car setups? Play mostly Assetto Corsa and Dirt Rally here.
There are no stupid questions.
Well, I don't know about that, but this isn't a stupid question. This is a good question. If you're playing Assetto Corsa and Dirt Rally, I tinker away in there. Look for resources in forums on car setup stuff. Once in a while, these communities will have people that go out and set up websites and a little more information about them. I don't know what's out there for Assetto Corsa and Dirt Rally myself, but if you're looking for resources, there's plenty of setup books out there and websites.
Yeah,
and that stuff does translate.
Yep. The hardest part I found is it seems like you would think that the language would be universal, but what I found is each developer has their own way of describing the thing that it's going to do, and sometimes they don't describe it very well.
Yes.
So then it becomes a guessing game as to what it actually does. Because some will describe tow, and they mean tow in to them is actually a positive number, and all the setup stuff that I've ever done, tow in is actually a negative number, tow out is a positive number. But when they say tow in, they're referring to it in the positive. So those are the things you have to mess with, and it's very difficult to sometimes decipher what they're saying. And what I wish they would do is just say, hey, if you slide it this way, this is the way the tires are going to go, or this is what it's going to do. And very few seem to actually do that. So
I was laughing because I knew you were going to use that example.
It's very frustrating. When I first started trying to mess with the cars on a more granular level, I kind of went, what? I don't understand what they're asking. And because I had already had a reference from something else, it really messed with me for a little bit. What the hell?
Yep. We got a lot of questions, and we should probably wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. So let's see what we can do here, since both of us like to talk.
Alex RB.
Go ahead.
It's easy to make. Is he asking a question? It's easy to make a Hall sensor based gas pedal to switch for my gas pedal, which is always oscillating on a G27. So that sounds like a question. I think he's asking, is it easy?
I do not know. I have not messed with pulling apart G27, but many people have pulled apart G25s and 27s. I've seen 29s recently modified with different rims. That I'm sure there's resources out there, and I would at the very least begin by searching in our forums and then just Google searches, because I know people have messed with the Hall sensors on the G series wheels. So I would take a look there. Ronnie Harjapa, It's what's the origin? If I'm curious, because it looks Scandinavian. If I had to guess, I'm just curious. I'm interested on making my own button box. My question is, how many buttons/encoders do I need for iRacing, for example? If I was to make a button box, I would say 9, 12 buttons.
Yeah.
And I would like at least 3, maybe 4 of some like rotary dials, or different kinds, whether it's a full rotary or just one direction or press.
Right, some sort of momentary deal.
Yeah, something there. I would say 4, and I think if I did that, I would cover all the cars. It'd be overkill for a lot of cars. It would only be for literally like the Formula One car and a few of the other ones where you just have so much stuff you can play with.
And it just depends on the level that you want to do it at, too.
Yeah. And also what size you got. I mean, I said 12 buttons. That's a lot of buttons. So, yep. You want to take the next one?
Big Billy Gamer, which do you prefer, ClubSport V3 or the CSL Elites, John?
Watch my review tomorrow.
There's a plug for you.
There's a tease. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch it.
On to the next.
Dylan Murray.
Go ahead.
I don't know how much you guys keep up with real-world racing. A lot. I think both of us. But who is your favorite real-world driver? Let's see. Jeff Gordon retired. For me, I like James Hinchcliffe a lot in IndyCar. And, yeah, that's probably the only real... and then the rest I just like watching racing.
Yeah, I always kind of root for the underdogs. So I don't necessarily have a favorite driver, but if somebody's kind of on the verge of doing something great, then I kind of like that. And I like Hinchcliffe. He's a good one to watch. Man, if we're talking sprint car world, I could go on for days. But some of the newer guys that are coming up, like David Gravel and Logan Schuchart, are really fun. Pardon me, are really fun to watch. They're fun to see him give Donnie Schatz a fit. And I won't go any further than that.
Someone should. Donnie Schatz is like 500 years old by now.
And this goes back to, this real quick goes back to running the same equipment over and over. That guy's run a J&J chassis for just umpteen years. He understands the car, and him and the same crew chief, and they use the same shocks. I mean, they're still staying up with technology, but they're making incremental changes. And the guy is so smooth. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they'll Darren Pittman and those guys, they give him a run for his money.
Good stuff. Let's see. RDS official, when my G27 breaks, it's close to the end of its life. What wheel do you recommend that can be used for racing and drifting? Belt driven would be nice. No G29s, G920. I mean, what's your budget? I mean, the PlayStation buyer's guide, we got that one out for 2017. We have the 2016 PS4 and Xbox One obviously out. Those break it. The 2017, I really did try to break it down where you can see line item by line item, compare and contrast the wheels. So I would say watch that. I mean, for a consumer level wheel, a fair price, the T300, especially like Alcantara edition, you can't beat that, in my opinion, for the price. But then from there, that question can go a million different directions. So.
Yeah.
Want to take this one?
Alex RB, which has the most accurate carts? rFactor 2, Automobilista, or Kart Racing Pro? For a guy that races karts every so often, I haven't tried any of them, actually.
Oh, you haven't? I like... I haven't tried Kart Racing Pro. I have driven karts in rFactor 2 and Automobilista. I like Automobilista's karts a lot. I've spent... there was a time there where I was just... That's like what I was doing. That was my jam for like a month there, where I was just going in and I was.
That's cool.
It was last. I don't know. It was 2015 now, but yeah, for like a month straight, I was just like Automobilista, like every day, jumping in the cart and just pounding out laps. I was loving it. So I do like those. The rFactor 2 one, I couldn't. I don't know. I was kind of struggling with that. I don't know if it was me or the game or the setup. I don't know what it was, but yeah, Automobilista carts are pretty fun. You should try them out.
Cool. Yes, I will.
Stephen Anthony, when will Assetto Corsa Porsche pack be available in red pack? It's early January. They need to be more punctual. December, early January. Dun, dun, dun. I saw a teaser yesterday. It sounds like the red pack for the consoles will be out next week on Assetto Corsa. And then the Porsche
We're
pack,
talking about the console version. Yeah.
Yes, the console version here. Yeah, then the Porsche packs, 2 and 1 came out. 2 and 3 sound, I'm not sure when those arrive. So, yeah. Oh, some kart conversation here. Luke Capazza. Any news on... Oh, where'd it go? Any news on Kartcraft? No.
No. That's a big
That was the one I was joking about earlier. Let's see. Ollie Osmond. Billy, what was the wind tunnel episode that your sprint car crash was featured?
So early 2010. King of the West opener at Antioch.
We have to be fair, when this came up 2 shows ago, someone put a link in the description of the YouTube video, and you can watch it.
Yes, and that was a different
Oh, that was
wreck.
different?
Yeah, that
okay.
was Loud Pedal TV Trophy Cup 2010 or 2011. I'm like halfway through, and that's when I just completely flipped my balls off. And I did the same with the one that was featured on Wind Tunnel earlier in the year. I had an awful qualifying run. My muffler fell off, so you don't get qualifying time when that happened, and I was always starting by hitting the 8-ball. Finished terrible in heat race, came from the back of the B, transferred to the A, started in the back of the A, working my way up, and I got collected in a big, just nasty wreck in the front. I literally went underneath the guy, and then another guy was turning and clipped me in the right rear, and I just... the camera shot is going into turn 1, and here I come flipping towards the camera. So that was a good one. And then a couple weeks later, somebody ran over my right rear at Ocean, and they flipped. So that's my claim to fame on Wind Tunnel.
I probably saw it because I used to watch all the wind tunnels. What year was that? 2011?
2010, I believe.
Man, 2010 was an expensive year for you.
Oh, you have no idea. Oh my god.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it was bad.
Excel Brains. John, have you tried the Clipsh yet? No, I need to go get a speaker wire and hook that up, but that is happening soon. And I got to figure out how to mount them. Those things weigh a ton, and my current setup is janky. Let's see. PB, let's get through the last few of these here. PBSR, Riza interviews this year. Hopefully, that was going to be planned last year. We had it all lined up a couple times, and they had to cancel on us. I think that's about time when they had the whole FIA and copyright thing, and they got pulled off. Automobilista got pulled off Steam.
Yeah.
That all kind of blew up like right when we were scheduled to go and have the interview. So we'll have to circle back around to that.
Yep, Frank Zappa. Can you guys recommend a good wheel rim tape for my Alcantara rim? Not much grip left. And I will defer to you if you have used any, because I don't use any of it. I use gloves, so my Alcantara is still really nice.
I have not.
So if anybody's got a suggestion in the chat, please help Mr. Frank out.
Yep. Spatial Dragon, if you switch wheels, will TSPC work on a PlayStation 4? It will not. It
No.
is PC only.
Yep, it deals with the wheelbase, not the wheel.
Yep. Robert, apart from iRacing devs, could you try asking Studio 397 devs like Marcel Offermans to do a long interview, please? Plans, hopes, etc. Yeah, no, I mean, there's so many people we could interview, and we gotta wait. We were that's kind of where the idea of this format of the show was going towards when I was out in Spokane with Darren. Then I came here, and it was just enough trying to get this all technological feat to work. And still, some weeks are better than others, obviously. This week has been fabulous. If all the streams went this well, we could interview a lot of people.
Right.
But no, that is something that, and also now I was thinking about it today with us. We were using cameras, like when we interviewed Tony Gardner last year, and also oh god, I'm forgetting a name from RaceRoom. I apologize. But anyway, when we did those interviews, that was a lot of production work because we were using a real camera. Mm-hmm. But with the using the whatchamacallit, it's almost a little easier. Webcam, that's the word. It's almost a little easier. So no, we do gotta do more of those. And I also think I'm debating whether or not it's best to do them here or do them as like a separate live show. Because I mean, look, we went 2 hours here just talking about the news and then Q&A and BSing. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And that's something we still have to talk about.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there might be. I think there might be another format where interviews might work better. So yeah, we'll have to. We'll get back to you on that one. You want to do the last one?
Sure. Allie, just wondering, do you guys give a poop, censoring myself, about oval racing anymore? Anytime I tune in, it's about road racing. Well...
Wait till Dirt Oval comes out.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I am working on another Dirt Sprint Car one as we speak, because that actually downloaded fairly quick.
There you go.
So I'm working on that. I did the NASCAR Evolution... what is it? Evolution? I can't even remember. Heat Evolution. And nobody seemed to care about that after about 3 or 4 races. So it really just... And also, there's not a whole lot of oval stuff coming out right now. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I mean, we're not a... there's guys out there like a Jeff Favano who goes and he runs the whole oval series, and you can get a whole lot of, you can watch that and see him run a lot of oval that. But like Billy, whoever's alongside me.
We're interchangeable. It's the rotating second chair.
What, like not Darren said, there hasn't been a whole lot of new oval stuff, and what has been new recently hasn't been overly exciting, good, etc. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of stuck with, on the oval side, who does oval? iRacing. And
Yeah.
they've spent years building it up to where they got like everything you need, essentially. I mean, they got so many oval tracks and different types of cars, and now they're going to add dirt oval racing. So when the dirt stuff comes off, we'll talk about it, but there just isn't a whole lot new to talk about, and we tend to talk and also cover in the standalone shows a little more newer content. So, and honestly, I started iRacing oval only, and I haven't run oval in forever. If I run oval these days, it's me jumping in the IndyCar. So, just what I personally enjoy, just kind of gone towards the roadside. So, kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But again,
Peaks and valleys.
When dirt comes out, Billy's going to be sending us 20 videos a week.
Oh my goodness. Well, fingers crossed here to begin with. So let's not jump the shark yet.
That's funny. Okay, Billy, anything else we need loose ends? Anyone else have anything in
No,
comments?
I think we're good. We just some odds and ends and chats. But
Okay.
yeah, nothing. I think we're good.
Okay, and since I think we did a whole show with no issues,
Jeez.
we did it. So, thank you for watching where are we at? January 4th, 2017 edition
Whatever day.
of This Week in... You'll see it in this review, but like at the end of the show, I literally like had to look at the box and be like, what's this thing called? These names are so long. It's like you want to be official. So anyway, thank you for enjoying January 4th edition 2017, This Week Inside Sim Racing. This was a good one. So we'll be back again next week with another show, more Not Darren, with Darren's broken leg.
You'll get more of this.
More of that.
Yeah.
Whether you want it or,
I know
whether you want it or not.
everybody's so excited.
More of that, and then we'll do a Daytona 24-hour practice race after the show. It won't be 24 hours. It'll be like 40 minutes.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll set that up for next week and try to get a bunch of you guys to come out and run. It's not the 5th. Don't mess with me, chat. So on that note, again, for Billy Strange, I'm John Sable. Thanks for watching This Week Inside Sim Racing.
Thanks, guys.
I want more air horn.
Brr, brr, brr.